downtown. It's good!
Oh no, did you see that, Ron?
That's unfortunate, Jose.
Plastic film and bags do not go in the blue recycling bin.
And there's the foul. Oh, he did not like that call.
Oh no, out of bounds!
Those items can really foul up the sorting machines at the recycling facility. It'll be a slam dunk if you put all of your hard plastics, paper, glass, and metal in your blue recycling bin. Visit austinrecycles.com for more. We're about to get underway here. Looks like a major fault right there. Styrofoam does not go in the blue recycling bin.
This match is not gearing up to be a good one. That's not good, Ron. Looks like it's getting worse. Textiles like clothing and that awesome headband do not go in the blue bin either.
What is this guy thinking? Why even bother with the rules?
He could have easily donated that racket. Recycle right and put all your hard plastics, paper, glass, and metal in your blue recycling bin.
This team is definitely the best team never to have won the World Cup. She's a real bundle of energy.
That's a yellow card. Water hoses do not go in the blue recycling bin.
That's a shame. That was an avoidable yellow card right there. See, water hoses can get tangled in the machinery at the recycling facility. Oh me, oh my! It's great to see Dave redeem himself there. All hard plastics go in the blue bin, like bottles, hampers, and even plastic chairs. Visit austinrecycles.com to learn more.
We want to take an opportunity again to brief the community on the significant investigation that has taken place to address the significant attack that took place on our community over 3 weeks.
Serial bomber in Austin.
Suspicious package, the police say, is now being made safe.
And we're waiting to see what happens next.
I know everybody is interested in a motive and understanding why, and we are never going to be able to put a ration behind these acts. But what I can tell you, having listened to that recording, he does not at all mention anything about terrorism, nor does he mention anything about hate. Based on what we heard on the recording, he described the 6 devices, and we have recovered those 6 devices. The suspect describes the 6 bombs that he constructed. He identified the differences among those 6 bombs. We have told you all along that they all had similarities, which they did. He also described the 7th device, that being the one he had on him early this morning. There was a decision made to put the stop in that frontage road before he got on I-35 and potentially went anywhere else. So our tactical team employed a tactic to stop the vehicle, and when we got that vehicle stopped, many members of the Austin Police Department approached his vehicle, and as they got to the window and began to bang on the window, what you can see on the video is a tremendous explosion that takes place, and you see our officers fall backwards from the blast. We had officers knowing they had just stopped someone who has been involved in placing bombs around our community for 3 weeks, knowing the dangers involved in that, but they ran towards that and they put an end to it. It is the outcry of a very challenged young man talking about challenges in his personal life that led him to this point. We were concerned throughout the investigation what was the motive, what was the reason. And again, everybody always wants to understand a reason, and sometimes we can't assign a reason to irrational acts. But what is clear from listening to that video is this was a very troubled young man who was talking about challenges in his life that led him to the point to where he took the actions that he took. There were indications that he stated in the video that he felt like we were getting very close to him.
In my time as 12 years as Attorney General and 3 years as Governor, I have not seen a better job than what we've seen from this police chief and the Austin Police Force.
What I learned was that as a community, we do not know our neighbors the way that we should, or perhaps the way that we used to. I think it is real important as a community that we use this moment. The legacy of this event for us should be that we walk across the street and introduce ourselves to our neighbors, or down the street or across the hall. We should know our neighbors better than we do.
Time
You have been here for a long while.
is measured
Oh, that's a lot of glue.
in many ways.
You're a little mischievous here. Don't pour
For
those.
Paxton,
Yeah, you're getting silly now.
5.
And I'm about to be 6.
that time is adding up.
So Paxton came in 6 weeks ago yesterday.
Really adding up.
I think we're at 12. Now we've had 12 trips to the operating room. I knew it was definitely an emergency. She had developed an infection, and it was in her colon, and it went through the wall into the abdominal cavity.
You see, Christine Kreider
And then did they also...
Is this calorie counts only by oral?
is not only a mom,
Why did we change all this? Because that's
Because-
not what Kaiser's plan was.
she's also a nurse.
I worked in pediatrics, so we've seen that side of it. Here. But when it's your own child, it's a little bit different because I'm not prepared all the time for my own child being sick.
With Christine's knowledge,
Yeah. No rash last night.
a break in time is hard to come by.
I knew the concern that the doctors had. This can be very overwhelming. It can be very overwhelming, and it can be very frustrating, even as good as she's doing.
Today is different.
It takes a lot to get you disconnected here.
Important for the mind and soul
She's definitely going to enjoy this today.
of both mother
It's crowded.
and daughter.
It is crowded.
Look, Preston. Look, the helicopter. Isn't that neat?
Time was irrelevant for a while
There's more. Yay!
as the Austin Police Department suited up
Batman.
and provided some much-needed relief.
Today was a huge break for her,
Yeah,
and it allowed her to have that joy and happiness that she needs as a 5-year-old kid. It also gave Mom the chance to see my 5-year-old be a 5-year-old.
But for a few moments,
Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman.
Paxton
Wonder Woman never gives up.
Never gives up. You either, okay? We'll be Wonder Woman together. Never give up.
had the time
Bye.
to be a kid
You ready to go back to your room? Yeah?
once more.
This gave us a huge break. Huge break today.
Moved the eye and cut in there to see the damage, and they actually drilled the screws through my mouth, and the screws are here. It changed everything. This could happen to anybody. When I woke up December 23rd, 2016, if somebody would have told me this was going to happen to me that day, I wouldn't have believed them. So I put the truck in park. I get out. I look behind me and in front of me, the coast is clear. I get to the back of the truck and I get a 90-gallon can and I hook it onto the back of the truck.
Watch your back. Hey, you got a biker right there.
As I hooked the can on the truck, out of my peripheral, my right eye, I saw a small compact car coming at me at a high rate of speed. It came out at 38 and a half and accelerated to try to catch the turn signal light. They had no idea anything happened. In a flash, I had to make a decision. I stepped up to the truck, which was probably the worst thing I could have did. At that moment, the bar shot off here at a high rate of speed and hit me right in the face. I didn't feel any pain actually, and I thought something came out of the back of the truck and hit me in the teeth. So I grabbed my teeth and looking at my coworker, I said, "Anthony, I think something just knocked my teeth out." And he's getting real animated by the minute, more animated, and it's starting to make me panic. And I really can't hear anything because I'm in shock and my ears are ringing. A lady on a bike stopped, I remember her, and she was screaming. And that even made me panic even more. I was like, "Ma'am, are you okay?" She's like, "Oh my God, I'm calling the ambulance." My nose was punched in. There was a perfect circle below my eye. And as I felt here, I felt a bunch of, felt like rice. I remember being inside the ambulance after that and telling the paramedic that something was seriously wrong. It hurt bad, it hurt. I understand you have to pass the truck on either the left or right side. Just be cautious. Try to make eye contact with the person operating the vehicle or the person at the back of the truck.
How do you put a value on home, sweet home? It's a familiar picture of a growing town, but for some, the pain of growing
lower payments
amounts
to
a heavy decision.
I guess more reasonable.
For new buyers,
it's something to call my own.
like Juanita Vargas,
I mean, the money that I put into renting, I can put into owning. I guess I've grown up a little bit in this past 2 years.
the expense of growth
Taxes and everything are going up for a lot of people.
is hard to allocate.
My parents, in fact, their taxes have gone up. They've lived here in Austin, in East Austin, for a long time, and a lot of people are having to move out, and it hurts them. It hurts us too.
She grew up on 2nd and a Half Street, works on 2nd Street, her family's on 2nd Street.
The Guadalupe Neighborhood Development Corporation is all about community preservation.
She's got ties to this area.
Cassandra Ramirez, Assistant Director of the Guadalupe Neighborhood Development Corporation, has seen this
Sort of an island of affordability.
transform from a brownfield to a net zero neighborhood.
How you're able to make that affordable is that you're not mortgaging the land costs. And I can tell you these lots appraised roughly between $120,000 and $160,000 when they were just vacant lots. So that amount's not getting into the mortgage.
Opportunity
I bank down the street, so I saw the sign,
led to the chance
kind of inquired about it,
Vargas was looking for.
and then I signed up. I filled out application.
So basically what we're going to do today is I'm going to go over all of your closing documents. The majority of the information you already know.
It was a lot of paperwork.
With the stroke of a pen, this labor of love,
So if you'll sign there, acknowledging as the homeowner.
was finally done.
Believe it or not, you're all done.
What?
You survived it.
Yeah.
Unlocking her future to a place she can now call
A place to call my own.
home, sweet home.
For one, there's a lot of history here. Rosewood has a huge amount of history. Almost. Let's just get that in there real quick. Music has just an ability to touch people. That stage right out these doors was the first stage that allowed a lot of black artists to perform. Ike and Tina Turner, Jackie Wilson, Etta James, all of them performed on that very stage. Now been down this road part, so it was kind of just to revitalize that history, and there's a lot of underserved youth in this community. And that's the big focus, is to give underserved youth the access to the music and the exposure. 5, 6, 7.
I've been down this road before. I see clouds full of thunderstorms. Yeah.
So Notes for Notes has been around for 10 years now. We just launched our 20th studio. This makes number 17.
I spent some time up on my lonely contemplating life.
And we have them all over the East, West Coast, and everywhere in between. This is the only one in Texas. So we're very fortunate for it to be here in the live music capital of the world.
This was my first singing song where I felt like Ricochet, babe. Yeah. When I felt like I could sing and rap at the same time.
There's youth that'll come like, hey, I want to get in the studio. And when they find out that she's in,
That's why I'm feeling like you should put more synth into it.
they totally bypass everything and go straight to where she's at and just sit there and admire her.
I'm feeling vibrations from your mind. I don't understand you.
Her past was a little bit rough.
My mom doesn't know I'm doing this at all. She's in jail. My dad, he's in jail too.
She has become a perfect face to speak to those youth in a similar situation.
My old man used to rap and do all this other stuff, but he got caught up into drugs. So I would place myself in his situation, be like, I don't want to be anything like him.
But I'm able to see a brighter future, a brighter light through my involvement with music.
Wrote this little rhyme just to take a step back.
I say come in with 8 bars.
Mommy was a dancer, daddy was a hustler. His brother, my uncle, was a table buster. Sipping and tipping all the way, day to day. They're just trying to make money just to get paid.
She come in with 2 pages worth of stuff.
In the bricks, no time to take a nap. Never had visions of a graduation cap.
That young 15-year-old girl that came in that was very shy is now
I think of it as this is your next step.
performing every weekend. She's actually speaking on behalf of younger youth. There are no limitations.
25-year-old me hopefully has a Grammy or 2. I'm hoping for the best of myself.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I want to do a song with Lamont, just me and him.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, y'all crushed. It's an outlet that stimulates the mind. It gives you a focus. So while you could easily be involved in the negative things that, you know, certain communities offer, this is kind of the safe haven.
Appreciate it.
To allow you to come in, be creative, and also be recognized for doing, you know, for art. You know, people appreciate art.
All right, let's go knock your verse out real quick.
You know, it's not my studio, it's everybody's. It's a family thing. There are some people that want to get out of this lifestyle and be something better.
All right, so let's do it. Give it a run real quick. You know, people appreciate art, and it's one of those that just, again, it's a positive parallel between life and the culture of art.
I thrive my pain. It's what we all grow through. You feeling me? Cause I'm feeling you. I'll take another one down, fit for abuse.
If you're listening,
the walk sign is on.
You can hear a familiar voice
Across Barton Springs.
echoing throughout the city of Austin.
Wait to cross Red River at 11.
A voice that guides people across busy roads and intersections.
The walk sign is on to cross Red River at 11.
You can tell by the authentic Texas draw.
Oh, there you go.
This voice calls Austin home.
That's my normal voice.
Lupe Alvarado.
Yeah, the voice of Austin.
With the Austin Transportation Department.
Oh, yeah.
The walk sign is on.
Is the man behind the voice.
Barton Springs.
Giving you the okay to cross many of Austin's streets. For the past 8 years.
I think the most favorite thing I have about my job is being able to be the best public servant I can be. When you press that button over there, did it talk to you?
Yes, it did.
It did. And I try to achieve that. Thank you. Every day.
Some depend on Lupe's voice more than others to get around the city. Like 17-year-old Adeline Granger,
Walk sign is on to cross.
who hears Lupe's voice on her way to the Texas School for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
I have macular degeneration. Technically, it's ironic, but it's called Best disease. I think it was named after the doctor. So for me, it's genetic.
One day, Adeline will lose her vision completely.
Make a line with your head, shoulders, and feet.
So she's preparing with the school's mobility specialist.
Shoulder to shoulder.
The biggest challenge at the beginning was just, getting around the intersections. And, because there's so much going on. I missed my chance. There we go.
She's a busy teen with places to be.
So I do the hair and makeup for all the school plays. I do hair and makeup for girls in my dorm for prom. Oh gosh, what else do I do? I'm student council president.
Navigating the city is essential.
It for sure makes me feel secure. It makes me feel like somebody's watching me, like it's okay, I got you.
And she says Lupe is a familiar friend.
I guess you could say it's kind of ironic that a visually impaired person would get excited about someone's looks or how, putting a face to a voice, you know what I mean? But I think that's really exciting, so.
A friend she's never met.
It'd be cool to ask what he does in his free time.
Until now.
Hello, Adeline.
Hi.
My name's Lupe Alvarado.
Oh my gosh, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Cool to know somebody's got our back.
Absolutely.
It's cool how we've advanced.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate it.
Working on various signal operations all day.
How long ago was that the first was installed?
Lupe was also excited to connect with someone on the other side of the activation button.
That was very, very soul-searching on my part to hear that kind of message coming from her, and it was very touching.
The walk sign is on to cross Riverside.
Voiced signals create what Lupe calls equitable access.
Making it a positive experience rather than a negative experience.
which raises quality of life and connects people to opportunity.
Once you get there and you realize, like, you know, I could do this. I might have to do this a different way, but I can still do it.
Adeline, now a graduate, says Lupe's voice gave her the confidence.
Of course, there's things that happen in your daily life that you just gotta get used to and you figure out a way for it.
But ultimately, it took believing in herself to move forward in the city and her future.
From the minute you sign in, you're constantly alert, constantly thinking about what's going to happen, what could be happening, what the next step is, maybe in your treatment. You have to be on.
After only a few hours of shut-eye,
Yeah, that's right.
paramedic Kyle Shutt
Did we replace the mag?
is signing in for his next shift.
Sometimes you log on and you get a call the minute you sign on.
It's only a matter of time
Let's see, which way am I going? Am I going right here?
before Shutt and his partner get their first call of the day. But there is something else that paramedic Kyle Shutt is known for.
It all began in this hotel in November of 2017 when I called downstairs for help.
Just 2 years ago, the first and former Homeland Security Secretary and former Pennsylvania governor was in Austin for a conference.
I call it the Austin incident.
Former Secretary Ridge knew something was wrong and proceeded to dial 911.
And I'm here, Exhibit A, folks.
It would be one of the most important calls that Tom Ridge would ever make.
Once when we first arrived, about 5 minutes into the call, we were able to successfully revive him at that time.
Kyle Shutt was part of a group.
About 5 minutes after that, he went down again.
Responding to the call for help.
There was one point where he just come out of arrest and we had leaned forward and we kind of said, "Governor Ridge, are you okay?" Because we weren't sure if he had gone back into arrest or not. And he just goes, "Yeah." So at that point we knew that we were dealing with a survivor.
Today, Shutt, alongside his colleagues that helped to save Tom Ridge's life, were honored again.
Secretary Ridge, you are alive today because all of these links in the chain of survival were available to you in Austin, Texas.
In the very same hotel, no less, where time almost ran out for Ridge.
We've been able to improve our Utstein bystander survival rate to 54%. And today, we're glad to count Secretary Ridge as part of that 54%.
If not for the first responders.
Thank you for never, ever giving up.
Who were there.
God bless you.
At the right moment.
Thanks, man. Glad you dispatched them there. We're there.